We know Simba, the brave, strong, and wise king. He ruled the Pride Lands with wisdom and courage, but there's a lion who could outmatch him in an unexpected way. He fights with a supernatural power. From shaking mountains and sending enemies flying, his feats make him even bravest lion. That lion is Kion, Simba's son. Today, we're counting down the top 7 times Kion's power left Simba in the shadows. Let's start with the time that makes Kion different from Simba. In the TV special, Return of the Roar, we see Kion, Simba, and Nala's second cub learn the roar. Rafiki and Askari guide him as he begins to form the Lion Guard. At first, Kion does not fully understand how powerful the roar can be. When Janja and his hyena gang start causing trouble in the Pride Lands, scaring small animals and stealing food, Kion becomes angry. In this anger, Kion did something that no king can imagine. He uses the roar in front of everyone for the very first time. But this roar isn't normal. It calls on the great lions of the past and releases a blast so strong that it sends the hyenas flying. After that first roar, the other animals see that Kion has a different kind of power. It is tied to the spirits of past guardians, so it can do things a normal lion cannot do. That is why this single scene matters. It proves Kion can affect many foes at once and change the fight's outcome without close combat. Kion's first roar is only a hint of what is possible, but there are many moments where each time his power would grow, showing why he was more than a king in ways Simba never could be. After mastering his first roar, Kion quickly realizes that the roar is not just a one-time trick. To him, it is a weapon he can use strategically in battle. One of the clearest examples of this comes when Janja's hyena clan mounted a large-scale attack on the Pride Lands. Instead of facing them one by one, like Simba would in a traditional fight, Kion positions himself to confront the entire army at once. Kion blasts the roar with precision, targeting multiple groups of attackers simultaneously. The force of the roar sends dozens of hyenas flying in all directions, topples trees, and clears large sections of the battlefield. Unlike Simba, who primarily relies on strength, speed, and combat skill to defeat enemies, Kion can defend the Pride Lands without directly touching a single hyena. This kind of raw power and strategy elevates him beyond the limits of any ordinary lion. Every time the hyenas try to regroup, Kion adjusts his roar to push them back, proving that he can maintain dominance over multiple threats that Simba never attempts. Kion's precision is unmatched, but even the strongest force has a breaking point. What happens when control slips and the roar becomes untamed? The Pride Lands are about to see power so wild it could change everything in an instant. Kion's journey to mastering the roar is not without its dangers. One of the most dramatic moments comes when his power overflows beyond his control, shaking the Pride Lands itself. This happens during an early mission to protect the savannah from a large group of hyenas. Kion, still learning the limits of the roar, becomes frustrated when the hyenas keep attacking despite his previous efforts. In his anger, he unleashes a stronger than usual roar. The roar's force sends massive rocks and debris tumbling down the hillside. Nearby animals scatter for safety, and some hyenas are knocked out by the falling terrain. This is a strength that reshapes the environment, something no lion in the Pride Lands, not even Simba, has ever done. But what makes this moment special is something shocking. It highlights both the danger and the potential of Kion's power. While Simba's strength is limited to physical combat and strategy, Kion's abilities can affect the world on a massive scale, even unintentionally. After this uncontrolled display, Kion begins using his power for something no one could imagine. Besides the avalanche incident, Kion grows in mastery and strategic thinking. When a massive flood rushed toward the Pride Lands, the Lion Guard was trapped. The water was fast, violent, and impossible to outrun. This is where Kion faces a situation where traditional strength or a simple roar is not enough. Instead of waiting, Kion uses the roar to control the land. He knocks down big rocks to stop the rising water and makes channels to guide the flood safely away from smaller animals. Every move of rock and dirt is planned, showing a kind of skill that Simba never shows. But the story did not end there. This environmental mastery also allows Kion to protect allies without threatening them. For example, when hyenas try to ambush a herd trapped near cliffs, Kion uses the roar to roll massive stones strategically, trapping the attackers while clearing a safe path for the herd. So, Kion is no longer just a lion responding to threats. He is a force capable of altering the battlefield itself. But that was only the beginning. What happens when he pushes his power even further, using the roar in ways no one has ever seen? One of Kion's most remarkable demonstrations of power comes during the defense of the Tree of Life. And compared to previous instances where his roar was either uncontrolled or used in battlefield chaos, this moment shows peak mastery. Kion is fully aware of both the strength and responsibility of his gift. When a group of enemies attempts to destroy the Tree of Life, Kion steps in to protect something far greater than himself. He unleashes the roar with perfect control. He directs its power around the tree, sending enemies flying in different directions. Every move is planned, showing how he has grown from just reacting to danger into a smart and strategic guardian. Simba, who relies on courage, strength, and leadership in battle. Kion manipulates supernatural energy in real time to defend something sacred without causing collateral damage. Kion has already done amazing things with his roar, but why is this moment so important? Because now his power is fully controlled and focused. What once could have been wild and dangerous is now a precise tool to protect those who need him. This is where Kion truly wins the power battle. He has learned to balance raw strength with careful control, and now he reaches a new level. The versatility of the roar. That's exactly what we are going to explore in the next section. Kion's greatest enemy isn't out on the savannah, it's the shadow living inside him. After Ushari's venom sinks into his scar, Kion's mind becomes a battlefield. The poison twists his emotions, weakens his patience, and drags out the same anger that once turned Scar into a monster. But Kion's fight is far worse than Scar's ever was, because he's trying to control a power that Scar abused and nearly destroyed. When Kion roars under stress, the roar becomes unstable and wild. The energy of the great lions of the past flickers, and Scar's voice creeps into his mind, whispering doubt. It's a dangerous pull, trying to twist his power into something deadly. Every roar risks harming the very friends he's sworn to protect, making Kion fight dark influence inside himself. During the long journey to the Tree of Life, this inner war becomes unbearable. The venom spreads. Scar's influence grows stronger. Kion snaps at his team, doubts himself as a leader, and sometimes looks truly scared of what he might become. It's the one time in the entire franchise where a lion must face a psychological, emotional, and supernatural enemy all at once. And unlike Simba, who fought Scar in a clear physical battle, Kion has to fight a version of Scar that lives in his blood and whispers in his thoughts. And the moment Kion finally shakes off Scar's influence, what he does next is so incredible that even no lion in history has ever even dared to touch. This moment comes during one of the most dangerous crises in the Lion Guard series. The ground shakes, enemies surround the area, and the very foundation of the kingdom seems unstable. But Kion does something so extraordinary that a lion can do. Kion combined power of the past great lions. The energy radiates from him in golden waves, vibrating through the earth. Then, with a controlled push, Kion lifts Pride Rock off its foundation. The massive plateau rises into the air, while enemies are thrown back and allies are kept safe. The scene is shocking because it proves that Kion can manipulate forces far beyond any physical limit. While Simba defended Pride Rock with strategy and physical prowess, Kion literally reshaped it with his will. Every rock, every crevice, every massive ledge responds to him, showing the ultimate combination of strength and spiritual energy. And yet, as awe-inspiring as this moment is, there is one power Kion possesses that not even lifting Pride Rock can show. A power that can live on long after he is gone. These are the moments that prove Kion doesn't just follow in Simba's paw prints. He redefines what it means to be powerful. From bending the land to his will to leading the Lion Guard with unmatched precision, Kion is a force beyond any king. Simba may rule the Pride lands, but Kion is the roar that shakes mountains, scatters armies, and protects everything that matters. Now I want to hear from you. Who really holds the ultimate strength? Simba or his son Kion? Let me know in the comments.